Have you ever wondered why you can't stick to your goals even when you're motivated? Why diets fail, resolutions fade, and new routines fall apart after just a few weeks? In his best-selling book, Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals the simple truth. Lasting change doesn't come from massive effort, it comes from tiny, consistent actions repeated over time. In this video, we'll break down the key lessons from Atomic Habits, how small changes lead to big results, how to build habits that actually stick, and how to break the ones holding you back. By the end, you'll have a practical system to improve your life 1% every day. Let's dive in.
The power of small changes. Imagine standing at the base of two mountain paths. One leads sharply upward, steep, promising quick results, but exhausting. The other barely inclines, almost flat, barely noticeable. Most people rush toward the steep path, chasing fast success. But James Clear argues that real transformation happens on the slow incline, where tiny improvements, repeated daily, create unstoppable momentum. This is the core idea behind Atomic Habits. The word atomic means both tiny and powerful. Just as atoms are the smallest units of matter, yet hold immense energy, our smallest actions hold the potential to reshape our entire lives. Clear opens the book with a story about the British cycling team. For decades, they were embarrassingly bad. No Olympic medals, no Tour de France victories. Then, in 2003, they hired a coach named Dave Brailsford, who introduced the concept of the aggregation of marginal gains. His philosophy was simple: improve everything by just 1%. The cyclists upgraded the texture of their seats, the type of massage gel they used, the color of their uniform for better visibility, even how they washed their hands to avoid illness. None of these changes alone made a difference, but together they turned the British team into world champions within 5 years. That's what habits do. They compound. Just like money multiplies through compound interest, your habits multiply their impact as you repeat them. Small changes often seem insignificant at first, but over time they create powerful outcomes. Think of it this way. If you improve by just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better after 1 year. But if you get 1% worse every day, you'll nearly hit zero. The difference between success and failure isn't huge leaps, it's consistent small steps. Clear emphasizes that habits are not about single achievements, they're about identity change. You don't need to set the goal of reading 50 books, you simply need to become a person who reads daily. You don't need to plan a perfect fitness routine, you need to become someone who doesn't miss workouts. When people focus only on goals, they fall into a dangerous loop. They think, once I hit this goal, I'll be happy. But happiness fades quickly after achievement. Systems, on the other hand, focus on the process, the daily rhythm that keeps you moving forward regardless of the outcome. As Clear puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Take two people trying to lose weight. One sets a goal, I'll lose 10 kilograms. The other designs a system, I'll prepare healthy meals every evening. Who do you think succeeds long term? The system builder. Because once the habit becomes automatic, the results take care of themselves. Another brilliant insight from Atomic Habits is that time magnifies the margin between success and failure. What you feed time determines what it returns. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Picture a melting ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. The temperature is 25 degrees Fahrenheit. You warm the room gradually, 26, 27, 28. Nothing changes. The cube looks the same. Then, at 32 degrees, it suddenly melts. But that moment wasn't magic. It was the result of all the small increases before it. Habits work the same way. You might see no visible progress for weeks or months, then suddenly everything clicks. Most people quit right before the ice starts to melt. They think their effort isn't working because they can't see the results yet. But success is hidden in what Clear calls the plateau of latent potential. That's the quiet phase where your work is compounding behind the scenes. Stick with it long enough, and breakthroughs will seem to come overnight. Clear also challenges a myth many of us hold that motivation and willpower drive success. In truth, it's consistency and environment. You don't need more motivation. You need better systems. You don't need stronger willpower. You need an environment that supports your desired habits. Think of a smoker trying to quit. Keeping cigarettes in their drawer makes relapse inevitable. But remove the triggers, the smell, the packs, the lighter, and the environment stops fighting against them. Similarly, if you want to eat healthier, place fruit where you can see it. If you want to study more, keep your books open on the desk instead of hidden in a bag. Small environmental shifts lead to big behavioral changes. One of the most powerful aspects of Atomic Habits is that it gives permission to start small. Embarrassingly small. Want to run every day? Start with putting on your shoes. Want to meditate? Start with 1 minute. The goal isn't intensity, it's consistency. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the type of person you want to become. James Clear puts it beautifully. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Even missing one day doesn't erase your progress, just as one deposit doesn't make you rich. What matters is showing up again and again. By now, you might realize that success isn't about radical transformation. It's about sustainable evolution. The people who change their lives aren't the ones who sprint, but the ones who walk persistently in the right direction. The small choices you make each day, reading a few pages, skipping dessert, writing a paragraph, accumulate like compound interest, and the earlier you start investing in better habits, the larger your returns. Clear's message is both humbling and empowering. You don't have to revolutionize your life overnight. You only need to make a 1% improvement today and repeat it tomorrow. That's the quiet, almost invisible magic of Atomic Habits. The little things aren't little. They're everything.
The 4 laws of behavior change. If Atomic Habits were a machine, the 4 laws of behavior change would be its gears. Simple, elegant, and incredibly powerful when working together. James Clear designed these 4 laws as a universal framework for understanding how habits work and, more importantly, how to shape them intentionally. Whether you want to build a habit or break one, these laws act as your roadmap. Before we explore each law, let's remember this. Every habit follows a 4-step loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue triggers your brain to start a behavior. The craving provides the motivation or desire to act. The response is the behavior itself, and the reward satisfies the craving and reinforces the loop. If you understand these 4 steps, you can redesign any habit. Law 1. Make it obvious. Our environment constantly influences what we do, far more than motivation or discipline. Clear explains that our brains are visual creatures. We respond to what we see. If you want to build better habits, make the cues obvious and visible. Let's say you want to eat healthier. You can tell yourself you'll eat more fruit, but if the fruit is buried in the fridge behind leftovers, you'll grab what's easy. The fix? Place the fruit bowl in the center of your kitchen counter. Visibility leads to action. This principle is what Clear calls environment design.
Instead of relying on willpower, you design spaces that naturally encourage good choices. For example, want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow. Want to exercise? Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Want to play less video games? Unplug the console after every use. Another key insight is the concept of habit stacking. This technique connects a new habit to one you already do. Instead of setting vague goals like, "I'll meditate more," you anchor it to a specific trigger. After I brush my teeth, I'll meditate for 1 minute. Or, after I pour my morning coffee, I'll write my to-do list. The brain loves associations. By stacking habits, you're telling your mind exactly when and where to act. And for breaking bad habits, you reverse the law. Make it invisible. If a cue doesn't exist, the behavior rarely follows. Remove the triggers. Delete social media apps. Store the TV remote in another room, or block distracting websites. Out of sight, out of mind isn't just a saying, it's behavioral science. Law 2. Make it attractive. Habits form because they promise pleasure or satisfaction. The more appealing something is, the more likely we are to repeat it. Clear points out that motivation often fades because we rely on sheer willpower instead of designing attractive systems. The solution is to bundle habits with rewards or pleasures, what he calls temptation bundling. Let's say you love watching Netflix, but struggle to exercise. Pair them. I'll only watch Netflix while I'm on the treadmill. This merges something you want to do with something you need to do. Over time, the brain starts craving the positive activity because it associates it with enjoyment. Another key insight here is the role of social influence. We tend to adopt habits that are praised or practiced by the people around us. That's why joining a gym with friends, a study group, or a mastermind can dramatically improve consistency. Clear highlights 3 social groups that shape our habits: the close, family and friends; the many, the broader culture or community; and the powerful, people we admire or aspire to be like. By surrounding yourself with people who embody the habits you want, you make those habits more attractive. You begin to mirror their behaviors naturally. And to break bad habits, reverse the law again. Make it unattractive. Reframe the mindset. Instead of thinking, "I'm missing out by not smoking," think, "I'm protecting my energy and clarity by staying smoke-free." Focus on the benefits of abstaining rather than the loss. Your brain can be trained to find satisfaction in discipline, not indulgence. Law 3. Make it easy. Most people believe they fail because of lack of motivation, but it's usually friction. The harder a habit is to start, the less likely it will stick. The easier it is, the faster it becomes automatic. James Clear calls this concept reducing friction. You make good habits simple to start and bad habits difficult to continue. For good habits, want to exercise? Choose a gym on your route home, not across town. Want to write? Open your writing app as your home page. Want to play guitar? Keep it on a stand, not in a case. For bad habits, increase friction. Uninstall distracting apps. Keep snacks on the highest shelf. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions that encourage mindless scrolling. Another technique is the 2-minute rule. Clear says when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Instead of planning to run 5 miles, start with put on running shoes. Instead of study for an hour, begin with open your notebook. The goal is not performance, it's momentum. Once you start, inertia works in your favor. The hardest part of any habit is the beginning, the moment you transition from intention to action. Automation is another game changer. Automate habits wherever possible. Set up automatic bill payments, meal preps, calendar reminders, or app blocks. The fewer decisions you need to make, the more energy you can devote to growth. When breaking bad habits, make them harder. Cancel one-click purchases, log out of social media after each use, or delete saved passwords. Every layer of difficulty reduces the likelihood of relapse. Remember, success is rarely about doing more. It's about making the right things easier. Law 4. Make it satisfying. This final law is about reward, the emotional closure your brain craves. Behaviors that feel satisfying are repeated. Those that feel empty are abandoned. In the modern world, many good habits have delayed rewards, while bad habits offer instant gratification. Eating junk food feels great now, but hurts later. Exercising feels hard now, but pays off long term. To overcome this imbalance, Clear suggests linking immediate satisfaction to good habits. Track your progress visually. Check off days on a calendar. Watch your streak grow. This small sense of accomplishment triggers dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. That's why habit tracking works so well. It turns invisible progress into visible proof. When you see your streak growing, you naturally want to keep it alive. Clear says, never miss twice. Missing once is an error. Missing twice is the start of a new bad habit. When combined, these 4 laws create a behavioral compass. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. If you ever struggle to start or stop a habit, inspect which law is broken. Fix that, and your behavior will follow naturally. These aren't motivational slogans, they're design principles for life. Small, consistent adjustments in these 4 areas can make extraordinary success feel effortless.
How to break bad habits. If good habits are the foundation of success, bad habits are the silent thieves of it. They rob your time, energy, focus, and confidence, often without you realizing it. James Clear reminds us that breaking bad habits isn't about punishment or guilt. It's about design. You can't wish bad habits away, but you can reprogram the systems that sustain them. Every bad habit follows the same loop as good ones: cue, craving, response, reward. The key difference lies in how satisfying and how immediate the reward is. That's why we crave short-term pleasures even when they conflict with our long-term goals. Clear teaches us to reverse the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying. These 4 principles help you gently unhook yourself from destructive routines while replacing them with better alternatives. Let's break them down. 1. Make it invisible. Every bad habit starts with a cue, a trigger that activates the routine almost automatically. You might not even notice it. For example, seeing your phone lights up, you unlock it instantly. Smelling food, you start craving snacks. Opening your laptop, you reflexively check social media. Cues are everywhere, and the brain loves shortcuts. So the most powerful way to break a habit is to remove the cue altogether. If you scroll social media too much, don't just try to stop. Delete the apps, or at least move them off your home screen. If you eat junk food at night, don't stock it at home. If you spend too much time watching TV, unplug it after each use, or move the remote out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind works because our brain's automatic habits are largely visual. When the cue disappears, the craving weakens. Clear calls this environmental design, and it's incredibly practical. You don't need more discipline, you need fewer triggers. Think of your surroundings as a script that tells your brain what to do. Rewrite the script, hide the bad cues, and display the good ones. You'll be surprised how often behavior changes not because you made a heroic decision, but because you made a simple one-time adjustment to your environment. 2. Make it unattractive. Bad habits survive because your brain still believes they serve you. The cigarette calms your stress. The junk food rewards your effort. The gossip connects you to others. To break them, you need to reframe how you see them. James Clear suggests using something called reprogramming the association. Instead of focusing on what you're giving up, focus on what you're gaining. For example, I'm not quitting smoking, I'm freeing myself from addiction. I'm not avoiding dessert, I'm protecting my energy and focus. I'm not deleting social media, I'm reclaiming my attention. You shift the story from deprivation to empowerment. Another powerful technique is visualizing the long-term consequence of your bad habit. Most bad behaviors feel good now and painful later. But if you bring that future pain into the present, even just mentally, the habit loses its charm. Imagine the version of yourself 5 years from now who keeps making the same choices. Overweight, tired, distracted, or broke, whatever the outcome, visualize it clearly. Then imagine the version who makes slightly better choices. Which one do you want to become? You're not fighting your habits, you're choosing your identity. And that identity-based mindset is the real secret. Clear explains that lasting change happens when you stop saying, "I'm trying to quit," and start saying, "I'm not that kind of person." When your identity changes, your actions follow naturally. 3. Make it difficult. Bad habits thrive on convenience. They're easy, fast, and often frictionless. That's why you check your phone dozens of times a day, because it's always right there. So to weaken a bad habit, add friction. Make it harder to start. Clear gives plenty of practical examples. Log out of social media after each use so it takes effort to log back in. Leave your credit card in another room if you tend to impulse buy online. Keep your gaming console unplugged and stored away. Use website blockers that limit time on distracting pages. Each extra step, even just a few seconds, adds just enough resistance to disrupt the automatic loop. Technology can help too. There are apps that delay access to certain websites or track your screen time limits. But even simple physical barriers work wonders. For instance, if you can't stop eating chips at night, don't just hide them. Make them inconvenient. Put them on the highest shelf, in a sealed box, in another room. The harder it is to start, the less likely you are to give in. Clear also recommends accountability devices. Tell someone you trust about your goals. Public commitment triggers a powerful desire to stay consistent because no one wants to break their word. You can also create habit contracts. For instance, promise a friend that if you smoke again, you'll donate $50 to a cause you dislike. Now, your bad habit has a built-in consequence. It's no longer satisfying, it's painful. This approach works because we're social creatures. We care deeply about our reputation and integrity. Turning habits into public commitments leverages that psychology in your favor. There's another subtle technique too. Replace the bad habit with a better reward. Instead of scrolling social media for dopamine, take a quick walk, stretch, or listen to music. Give your brain an alternative source of satisfaction. You're not removing pleasure, you're upgrading it. Over time, your nervous system learns that the new reward feels better, lasts longer, and aligns with your goals. That's when old patterns start to dissolve naturally. Breaking bad habits doesn't mean living a joyless, disciplined life. It means designing a smarter one. Every time you make a habit invisible, unattractive, difficult or unsatisfying, you reclaim a bit of your freedom. And freedom compounds just like habits do. James Clear's message is simple but profound. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. By inverting the same system that builds good habits, you dismantle the ones that hold you back. It's not about perfection, it's about direction, shifting slightly every day toward the person you want to become. The chains of bad habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. Start loosening them now, one small, deliberate choice at a time.
Now that we understand how habits form and how to shape them, let's talk about how to apply these ideas in real life. James Clear's genius lies not just in theory, but in how incredibly practical Atomic Habits is. It's a manual for building a new identity, one small, repeatable action at a time. And when you see how ordinary people use these principles to achieve extraordinary things, you realize that success isn't magic. It's math. It's compounding, consistency, and design. 1. The power of identity-based habits. The first and most important application is to build habits based on who you want to become, not what you want to achieve. Most people set goals like, I want to run a marathon, or I want to write a book. But Clear flips that thinking. Instead of asking, what do I want to accomplish? Ask, who do I want to become? If your goal is to run a marathon, your new identity is, I'm a runner. If your goal is to write, your new identity is, I'm a writer. If your goal is to build wealth, your new identity is, I'm a person who manages money wisely. When you adopt this mindset, every small action becomes a vote for that identity. Reading a page is a vote for being a reader. Saving $5 is a vote for being disciplined. Going for a 10-minute jog is a vote for being an athlete. You don't need unanimous votes to win an election. You just need a consistent majority. The more often your behavior aligns with your desired identity, the stronger it becomes. Over time, habits stop being things you do and become who you are. That's why Atomic Habits isn't really a book about productivity, it's a book about transformation. 2. Real-world success stories. Clear fills his book with stories that show how these ideas work in every field. Take the story of the British cycling team, which we touched on earlier. They transformed from a losing streak to world domination through marginal gains, 1% improvements stacked over time. Or consider the story of the Japanese rail system. They achieved world-class efficiency not by focusing on speed, but on reducing tiny sources of friction. Every process, from train cleaning to boarding, was refined repeatedly until excellence became inevitable. Then there's the story of professional athletes who use environmental design and habit tracking to maintain consistency. They don't rely on motivation to train. Their routines are structured so that not training feels uncomfortable. Clear himself used these same principles when recovering from a devastating head injury in high school. He rebuilt his life one micro habit at a time, exercising lightly, reading consistently, writing daily. Years later, those habits became the foundation of his career, his business, and his book. The lesson? Big change starts small, but it's never insignificant. Every repetition strengthens your identity and compounds your results. 3. Building your own system. Here's how you can apply Atomic Habits starting today. Step 1. Choose one habit at a time. Most people fail because they try to overhaul everything at once. Instead, start microscopic. Pick one behavior that would improve your life if repeated daily. Step 2. Apply the 4 laws. Ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? For example, if your goal is to start reading daily, make it obvious. Place the book on your pillow. Make it attractive. Read in your favorite spot with a warm drink. Make it easy.
Start with just 2 pages. Make it satisfying. Track your streak in a notebook or app. Step 4. Design your environment. If you want to change your behavior, don't fight your surroundings. Redesign them. Keep cues for good habits visible and remove cues for bad ones. Step 5. Track your progress visually. Use a habit tracker, checklist, or calendar. Seeing progress triggers dopamine and builds motivation naturally. It's not about perfection, it's about maintaining momentum. Step 6. Focus on consistency, not intensity. Doing something small every day beats doing something big once in a while. Clear says, you should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. 4. Practical micro-habits for everyday life. Let's look at real micro-habits you can start immediately. Tiny, atomic actions that compound into transformation. For productivity, each morning, write 1 sentence outlining your top priority. After finishing work, spend 2 minutes planning tomorrow. Before checking your phone, take 1 deep breath and set an intention. For health and fitness, drink 1 glass of water after you wake up. Do 5 push-ups after brushing your teeth. Prepare tomorrow's gym clothes the night before. For finance, save $1 or 1% of your income automatically each week. Review your spending every Sunday for 5 minutes. When tempted to buy something, wait 24 hours before deciding. For learning and growth, read 2 pages of a book daily. Listen to an educational podcast during your commute. Write down 1 insight at the end of each day. Each of these takes less than 2 minutes, but over time, the compound effect is massive. You'll start to think differently, act differently, and become someone who naturally seeks improvement. 5. The plateau of latent potential. One of the biggest reasons people give up on habits is because progress feels invisible. You go to the gym for a month, but your body looks the same. You study daily, but still feel confused. You save money, but the numbers seem small. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. It's the quiet phase before visible results, like the ice cube that doesn't melt until it reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The truth is that progress often hides behind patience. You're not wasting effort, you're building potential energy. Every repetition adds weight to the invisible side of the scale until one day the balance tips and everything changes. So when it feels like nothing is happening, remember, habits work silently until they don't. Keep showing up. The compound interest of effort always pays off, just not on your schedule. 6. The long game. The ultimate takeaway from Atomic Habits is that success isn't a finish line. It's a system. People who thrive aren't necessarily smarter or luckier. They just build systems that make success inevitable. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on design. If you can master the small things, you'll master the big things. The 1% improvements you make today are the foundation for every breakthrough tomorrow. So start now. Choose 1 small, meaningful habit and repeat it until it becomes part of you. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up and realize you've become exactly the kind of person you always wanted to be. Not through a massive leap, but through thousands of tiny atomic steps. So, what did you think of Atomic Habits? Remember, success isn't built overnight. It's built choice by choice, moment by moment, habit by habit. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your identity evolve into the person you've always wanted to become. If this summary helped you see your habits differently, give this video a like and share it with someone who's trying to change their life too. And if you love learning powerful lessons from books that can transform your mindset and performance, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because one idea applied consistently can change everything. Thanks for watching and keep growing.